What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Like always, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, all that stuff. And I literally just shot a review before this one because, I finished 2 books and was lazy on the reviews. So if you're like, this guy wears the same shirt in all his videos, well, this is my book review shirt. You know what I mean? This is my book review shirt. It's just, I looked at it in the closet and I was like, this is going to be, I'm going to have 2 book review shirts. And this is one of them. So it sits on my office chair. And when I shoot reviews, I take whatever I'm wearing off and put this on, unless I shoot the videos after work. So, in case any of you were curious. Alright, so the review today is going to be for Michael Stackpole's Battletech book, Blood of Kerensky, Volume 2, Blood Legacy. It was not as good as the first one. I'll get that out of the way. 8 out of 10. It's kind of like, it seems like this one slows down quite a bit. I'm certain it's going to set up book 3 in this trilogy. The writing is phenomenal, as you know, I've learned with Michael Stackpole. He does a great job keeping everything interesting. What I will say about this book that really brought it down to an 8 for me instead of like a 9 out of 10 was I found myself only really caring about what was happening with Phelan Kell, and he was with, he's with the Krasinski and they're the Wolves or whatever. They take him in book 1. And they're still basically like trying to initiate him into this their type of clan or whatever they are. They're like these superior humans and all that, and they end up doing so. He makes his way up there. He meets a woman that basically, see, it's already been a few hours since I finished the book, so my brain is sketchy on it. That was another problem I had with the book. There was some parts that I just wasn't retaining. But I want to say she said she was his mother or something, Natasha Kerensky. Maybe that happened in book 1, and I might be getting something messed up there. But anyways, he goes through all that stuff, and when it does get to the action sequences, though, it does a really good job. Stackpole does a great job with that. And look at the cover. Let's go over the cover 2 minutes into the video because I almost forgot. And it was by Roger Lovelace. And then you have some great maps, and they were done by Mike Nilsson and the FASA art department, whatever that means. So I do like having maps in the books and stuff like that. But the cover art by Roger Lovelace, I mean, the art is what sold me on reading these books anyways, and some different mech books I have coming outside of Battletech. I think I probably would appreciate this entire trilogy even more if I would have started with the first book in the Battletech franchise, which after I finish this trilogy, that's my plan, to go back and read them all in order. But this book, it was just a little weak compared to book 1. Except when you were reading Phelan's part, it was really cool what he was going through, navigating his life with these new people. And yeah, the kid's gonna be, he's crazy tonight. And then when you get back to the inner sphere, you're dealing with these basically 2 different clans trying to unite. And, not just kill each other the whole time, because they know they need to unite to fight these superior humans that are going to be coming back. And that I'm trying to remember what the heck they're called. I don't understand why I can't remember what the superior humans were called. It's just so terrible that my brain just pooped on me. You know what I mean? I literally just finished the book earlier today before I started my next book. But anyways, I'll talk while I search. You know what I mean? I mean, Stackpole does such a good job that the Wolf's Dragoons, no, they're not the Wolf's Dragoons, not the Wolf's Dragoons. It's gonna bug me now that I just don't remember. It's insane to me. You know what I mean? And we're gonna do this together in this video. I mean, I know it's the Kerensky, Natasha Kerensky. She ends up becoming the ill Khan, or whatever you want to call it, as it goes. But anyways, they're basically a different clan compared to your clans in the inner sphere, and they're just a superior clan. Why I can't remember what they called themselves is beyond me. But somebody will know. I want to say they're like wolves or something like that. So There's a ship called the Dire Wolf. But anyways, whatever. Let's look at the cover and forget that I'm an idiot. Okay, so yeah, 8 out of 10 though I think is a fair rating for the book because it's kind of a lot of setup. Like I said, I'm pretty sure for book 3. So, but like Phil and Kel's parts are really good, what he's going through, and then towards the end of the book it really picks up, and the action sequences are freaking phenomenal. Like, as far as sci-fi action goes, I think Michael A. Stackpole's got to be one of. I don't have too many things to compare it to, but he's got to be one of the better ones. And this is my 7th Stackpole book that I've read, if you count the 5 X-Wing books in Star Wars and now the 2nd Battletech book of his. He's a top 5 favorite author for me. And so I love the book. You know, I mean, 8 out of 10 is like a low rating for me to give a Stackpole book. But it was just a little slow to me. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I wasn't in the mood for Battletech when I read it, but I don't know, I always feel in the mood for mechs, you know what I mean? But maybe I read it too fast. I didn't feel like I was reading fast at all, you know what I mean? I felt like I took a little bit too many hours to read it. So, I don't know. I don't know what's up. But we do have book 3 coming up next. I tried to get my wife to watch the animated series with me, but she was not into it. So, whatever. But we'll read the back so y'all get a little bit more of this before we go into what I'm reading next. Jamie Wolf has brought all the key leaders of the Inner Sphere together at his base on outreach in an attempt to put to rest old blood feuds. That's what I was saying. They're trying to unite and power struggles for only if all the successor states unite their forces do they have the hope of defeating this invasion by warriors equipped with battle mechs far superior to their own. You know, that's the people that fell in. That's who Phil and Kel is with. But old hatreds and suspicions are hard to put aside, and mutual trust even harder to attain, especially when the very man who asked for that trust has freely admitted to being a former Klansman himself. And even if the houses should agree to stand together, another threat as fully dangerous lurks within their very midst, Comstar. And that character does come into the book towards the end and makes some moves. The sect controlling interstellar communication, which is determined to rule all of the Inner Sphere by any means at its disposal. So, pretty cool. I gotta pause it real quick. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my daughter tonight, but she is on a mission to bother me in these videos. Anyways, forgot what I read the back, but anyways, the book was 8 out of 10. It was good. It was good. It was my 8th book this month. Today is July 12th, so I'm a little behind schedule, but it's fine. So up next, I'm reading Monster Hunter International. I'm already about 50 pages in. If it stays what it is right now, it's going to be a top 10 favorite book of all time. That's for sure. It's so cool. It's so awesome. But that's the video today, guys. Like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Later.